In this video, I am going to go over 50 brands that are selling the best right now in April 2026. And somewhere in the video, I am also going to have the labels so that it's easier to spot. And what I'm going to go over is the fast flips. I'm going to Y2K, high profit, outdoor workwear, and designer luxury brands. So these are the ones I am going to go over today. So the number one brand, and if you watch my video from the other day, you heard this on throughout platforms, is Nike. But people are looking for the newer Nike, whether it's clothing or shoes, sneakers, but they're also looking for dry fit. So the next one is Lululemon. So for Lululemon, you are looking for the size dot and newer styles. The next one, not surprising at all, this has been a while. I'm talking a few years now. Free People. But for Free People, it's newer tags or trendy pieces. The next one is Aerie. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. It's A-E-R-I-E. And for those, you're looking for newer and maybe some traditional. I love my birds. The next one is H&M, and that has been going on for a while too. When I first started, not at all, but the newer ones only. And that's usually what it is each season with H&M. Old Navy, their newer activewear. I'm not talking about the shirts. I have to tell you this later. Anyway, Old Navy, newer activewear. Target, Wild Fable, and Universal Thread, which I'm happy about because about 5 years ago, those were really big sellers and now they're back. I still have some from them to sell. The next one is Sheen or Shine. How do you say that? My husband last night said Shine, and I said, no, it's Sheen. And then I said, you know what? I don't even know. So S-H-E-I-N, the newer and the trendy only. Trendy, Y2K, is the next one. The next category is trendy, Y2K. Older can be better with this one. Brandy Melville. The older script, Italy. Urban Outfitters. The Urban Outfitters. The style matters the most. And keep in mind, as I'm going through all this, I'm giving you the brands, but you have to also be with the trends. It's not just about brands. Next is BDG, vintage style denim. Princess Polly, newer only. I have never found a Princess Polly. Addicted, E-D-I-K-T-E-D, newer only. Garage, newer basics. Let me know if you sell basics. Comments. PacSun, vintage look wins. It sells the best. Affliction, the older tags are selling better. True Religion, older, bold stitching. Okay, so this took about 4 or 5 years to come back. I still have a lot of those, and I'm going to sell them now. See, that's the thing. Like, if I took things out of my closet with this list, I'm putting it back. I learn, you learn. So, Ed Hardy, Older Y2K. I also have that. Now, the next category is high profit. So kind of like style plus the label. Reformation. What a surprise. Reformation has been selling well for so long. Not to me, but for most, it is definitely one of the high profit. The newer ones will make you more money, but they're saying all of them are selling. Anthropology. What a surprise. You should check the sub-brands and look at all of those and see what's selling the best. There are so many. Let me know if you ever want me to go through the anthropology. What do you even call it? Not categories. The different stores, the different sub-brands. Hello. It's right there. Sub-brands. The birds don't like when I'm having a good time. The next one is Farm Rio. I remember. Bold, newer prints, though. How many of you, I just have to ask this in between, so excuse me. How many of you find a lot of these brands in your stores? Maybe at the end I'll go over all the ones that I have found and haven't. So if you don't want to watch that, you don't have to. That's what I'll do. And then we'll talk. Okay, so Farm Rio, blah, blah, blah. Spell the older rare pieces. Doen, that's been doing well for a while now. Style plus condition. Johnny Was, embroidery is basically what sells the best now. I have Johnny Was just sitting, but they don't have embroidery. Rails, the newer flannels. Rag and Bone, newer, and the denim, newer mostly. Theory, the new clean styles. And Vince, newer and minimal. I think I have a newer minimal. We'll talk about it later. The next category is outdoor workwear. And for this category, vintage definitely wins over. Patagonia. Vintage is just money in the bank. North Face. The newer and vintage puffers. Columbia. Newer tech. Omni. I forget how to say this one. Arc'teryx. ARC-TERYX. They all sell. I have some of that too. Carhartt, the older and worn in. We'll talk about that. Dickies, the vintage styles are selling way better. REI, the newer gear is what's selling. LL Bean, the made in the USA, right now is selling the best. Eddie Bauer, mostly vintage, definitely. And Woolrich, the vintage wool is what is selling in that category. The next category is designer luxury. Details matter with this one. Louis Vuitton. Make sure it has the date codes. Gucci. The bold logos are what are selling right now. Prada. Nylon pieces. Oh, on fire. Coach. The vintage creed patch. Kate Spade. Newer styles. Michael Kors, again, newer only. Tory Burch, the newer flats and bags. Longchamp, it depends on the condition. It should really be good to excellent. Marc Jacobs, the newer tote line, is flying off the shelves. And Chanel, vintage plus authenticity. So I would definitely make sure they're authentic. So the golden rules are fast fashion equals newer tags. And I'm going to have a free download, by the way, at either in the comments pinned or somewhere within the description. Fast fashion, newer tags. Trendy, Y2K, older, can really, really win. Outdoor, workwear, vintage sells. And luxury, it has to be condition and authenticity. You want to make sure it's authentic, because this happened to me once where I put something online and someone said, that's a fake. And then I looked it up and it was, and I had no clue. So make sure if you're selling luxury items, you know that. Most people shop by brand. However, this new year here, they're also purchasing for label and style. I hope that for any of you who are leaving now that don't want to hear me rant on or talk about this, that you enjoyed this and get that free sheet at the end. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Now stay with me, my other people. So I want to just go back through the brands quick, because I want to tell you what I find in my area. And it's not a lot of them. And I want to hear what you find. I'm sure if I went to the consignment shop, I'd find these, but I'm trying to get things at better prices. I find Nike. I found Lululemon once or twice. Free People, I find every now and then. And then we have American Eagle. Stretch denim newer. Nope, I don't find any of those, but I have found American Eagle. Aerie, A-E-R-I-E. Once in a blue moon. Zara. I only find older Zara. H&M. I don't even find H&M newer. I don't think anybody's getting rid of them yet. Old Navy, newer. I do find that. Target, Wild Fable, or Universal Thread. I find that every now and then, but I have a lot of them. And when I was looking it up, it really didn't matter if they were older or newer. Shein, S-H-E-I-N, I find that a dime a dozen in the store. I don't pick it up personally, but people do. And yeah, I see all the newer and trendy. Brandy Melville. Every now and then I see Brandy. Urban Outfitters. Style matters most. I do find Urban Outfitters. Extra stir when you're going to call her. Stir the cup. Urban Outfitters. I do find Urban Outfitters. Not always what's in trend right now. BDG, vintage style denim. I do find that. No Princess Polly. No Addicted. No Garage. Maybe once. PacSun, I'll see every once in a while. Affliction, no. True Religion, not anymore, but I have a lot of it here. Ed Hardy. Older Y2K. I do have some of that, but I don't see it a lot. Reformation, hardly. Anthropology, hardly. Farm Rio, Spell, Doen, Johnny Was only in the consignment shop. Rails, never heard of it. Rag and Bone. Theory, every once in a while. Vince, only once. Patagonia vintage, yes, but they don't always have Patagonia written big on them, so they don't sell well. North Face, the newer vintage puffers, I don't see those. I do see the vintage. Columbia, sometimes. Arc'teryx, yeah, a few times, and I do have a couple of those. Carhartt, older worn in, I do find those, and you make good money on them. Dickies, vintage styles, every now and then. REI, once in a blue moon. LL Bean, made in the USA. Sometimes, yeah. Eddie Bauer, vintage, once in a while. Woolrich, I do find that, but it doesn't seem to sell for me, but I haven't tried this year. And then Louis Vuitton, no. Gucci, no. Prada, no. Coach, yes. Kate Spade, yes. Michael Kors, yes. Tory Burch, once. Longchamp, yes. Marc Jacob, yes. Chanel, no. You might hear my husband in the background giving the dog the banana. So this is the end of this, and I enjoyed this so much. I especially enjoyed the research part of it because then it's in my head too. So thank you for wanting this, and I will see you again soon. Let me know if you want to know some of the worst brands, even though I know these are all different for everybody, but I'm just telling you from statistics what's selling. So if you want to get the sheet, just download it below. If you like this, subscribe and subscribe. If you print out that sheet, you hit that subscribe, please, because it helps me and it's free. So have a good one.